regulatory uncertainty and taxation. When we talk about that, it's not only limited to online gaming. There are other sectors also, facing similar challenges. And one of the sectors I wanted to talk about in that regard was the crypto sector, or virtual digital assets, as some people call it. They're also facing a very similar issue in the taxation space.
Yes. See, they used to call it cryptocurrency first, right? And that is where we started off the debate with them. And I advised them, don't use the word currency, because currency means red alert goes of the central bank, that is RBI. Straight away, they say, we are the custodian of currency. We are the decision makers of currency. Who are you? Right? What currency you're talking about, right? So then the currency disappeared. And then the word emerged as a virtual digital asset. Because actually it is like any other asset, like mutual funds. The only difference is that the company's thing is you have company's annual report, there is a base for it on what they claim is their share value is going up because of their production, because of their profits, because the vision of expansion in future. All these are impact making things where these share market flourishes or operates. Whereas virtual digital asset, as the name itself says, it's virtual. There's no base, there's nothing into it. But it is an asset class, right? So many of the countries have now defined it into an asset class, and there was a global discussion on it. There were concerns by the central banks of each of the country whether this is going to disrupt the balance and the value of the currency which each country maintained. Fair enough, that was there. But then that has been counterbounded, and that is how this crypto flourished. And you had big companies investing in the crypto, like Tesla did it, in the bitcoins and everything. And yes, it is a speculative asset. So, like a share today, 100 rupees may become 300 rupees, and tomorrow that 300 may come down to 50 rupees. Right? So, it's your risk taking ability to what extent you want to invest into a crypto, like you do in the share market. It's your study, your intelligence, how you want to put in everything. And the crypto across the globe got a hit 2 years back. But then it revived. It didn't disappear. The talk was that now it's a death knell on it. No more of this crypto. And it revived. And today, again, it is important. And a country like US has recognized it. Dubai was the first one to come up with the crypto regulation, and fantastic regulation. It also addressed the apprehensions which country like India had, that this will be a conduit for money laundering. This will be a conduit of funding to the wrong elements across the globe. But not realizing that this happens digital or no digital, crypto or no crypto. So this will help because of blockchain, no technology, nobody to mess around with the database. You will get a complete conduit and you will know exactly where the transaction is gone. And it will be at a real-time basis that the intelligence agencies can get the red flag. Immediately it will come. That, okay, there seems to be a flow of money, from B to A, from C to A, from Z to A, this pattern is coming. So immediately there can be a red flag to the regulating agencies. And the moment the red flag it comes, it's for them to now decide on their reaction time, how quickly they react to it. So in this sense, instead of dumping it on the apprehensions, it is very important to understand it. And what I said before, that it brings in a fantastic technology called blockchain. Now today, entire your banking system, or what CBDT we call of the RBI, will have to be on the blockchain, or decentralized blockchain, which is, as the name suggests, it is in block. So if it's a block, now you can't edit or do anything once that block is closed.
True.
Then your next block, third block, fourth block, 10th block. Like that it will happen. And that data is for perpetuity. Right? So it's very easy to handle, very easy to do. So you have crypto exchanges in India, but again, no regulator. Not registered.
And I think that's a huge issue from a consumer standpoint, is that?
It is. I wrote an article recently about, there was a cyber security issue with the WazirX.
Yes, I actually had some things in that. So I understand it completely.
That's right. So there was it. In fact, I wrote it, the article from the perspective of governance in the business sector. What did they do? They recognized this attack was there. but they took the onus that we will refund the fund, and they started refunding.
Yeah.
They took that the strike on their company's profit
Yeah.
and decided to go ahead and pay off. Right. And this is what has happened continuously.
Yeah.
So this is important as a regulator to bring these governance models. That okay, if there is a hit because of any incident, then what is the protection you are going to do to the consumer?
So right now, consumers have no protection from the government side.
Nothing. It is the Wazirex itself on Expo Moto. They decided because it's a big thing and they have a brand reputation, and they realize it was not because of any hanky-panky in Wazirex or with the consumers. The problem was the security system failed.
Yeah.
And they had that cyber attack. So they took the onus, which they thought is important for them to provide a security, a tight security system to take that beating and sort of pay off. And they have started paying off. I don't know whether you have got it or not.
Not yet. I think they're still finalizing the terms.
That's right.
They had regular updates though that they
They're
can share
getting
with us.
yes. Because and now they are reorganizing their company in a different way. So which becomes more answerable, more governed with better practices.
Yeah.
So that is the way we have to take it instead of doing, and like crypto, if you remember, RBI first it said ban. And it was Supreme Court, it said no, there cannot be a ban.
Yeah.
So now today it is operating, it is not legal, it's not illegal, but
Yeah.
there's no regulation.
But
Right.
also the tax, I mean, we're taxing it, but we're not
Taxing is there.
regulating it.
Taxing is
which
there.
is interesting. And, I think...
There are 1% TDS and
Yes.
10% TDS and all that thing is a but being those IT wizards which
Yeah.
was operating this thing, and something I must share with you. What amazed me was in this crypto and gaming world, it is the chartered accountants who have entered in a big way.
Really?
Yeah. I was really surprised when you talk, you go and ask their background. Techie, yes, but chartered accountants in equal big number in crypto especially. Then I asked them, how is it like instead of helping people to file their returns and auditing and this and that, you have entered into this one. They said, we understand numbers. Yeah. They are wizards in numbers. So we understand numbers. They have smoothly entered into it. And that is how, this handling of numbers and crypto is working. Another surprising shock to me was that crypto is very popular in the hinterland, in rural areas.
Really?
That's a surprise to me. That's a surprise
to me.
And the tech, IT people and tech people like you, they are surprising. Their ticket size is small, 10,000, 20,000, 50,000. So when I was checking on this digital payment system, because initially when we thought of deepening digital payment, we thought it will be on the basically towns and maybe adjacent areas and everything. But surprisingly, when it spread across the country, even in the remotest of the villages, they were doing digital payments. While talking, we thought, let me see. So I went around. When I talked to them, they were saying, we crypto, हमने कहा ये क्यों करते हो? So they said, हुंडी तो हम पहले भी खेलते थे, रिस्क हम पहले भी लेते थे, कभी पैसा डबल होता था, कभी डूब जाता था. अब आपने हमको डिजिटल पेमेंट सिखा दिया, आपने हमको मोबाइल पकड़ा दिया, अब हम डिजिटल में चले गए, हम क्रिप्टो में चले गए. तो मैंने कहा क्या किया क्रिप्टो? एंड वेरी स्माइलिंगली दे सेड, हमने 10,000 डाला था, वो 30,000 हो गया, हमने 20,000 निकाल लिया, आप 10,000 में खेल रहे. कभी डूबता है, कभी चढ़ता है, कभी ऊपर जाता है. तो आई थॉट दे आर स्मार्टर देन एनी वन ऑफ अस. They're very smart in the way they operate their finances. So surprisingly, the crypto and gaming has entered deep into the country. Ban is not the answer. We must understand the technology advantage. We can become a hub. India can become a hub for gaming for the entire world. So it's not just revenue, it will create a fund for more and more innovations, which is the need of today. Everything gets outdated so soon. That is what is happening. See, we are talking about this fab and chips for this, which is to be made in India. We are 15 generations behind what we are thinking of investing. It's so quick, and the developed world is going for it. And that is where the money and control is going to be tomorrow. It's not the geographical annexation on what happens. It is going to be how robust your technical system is, and that is how they'll go.
So, ma'am, in the virtual digital asset space, are you seeing any movement from the government?
I think it is standstill,
Oh, it's time.
frozen.
Has the geopolitics of it, like the US going into it, not?
I
stopped
don't see
anything
any
yet?
movement because the RPI is very clear, not in favor of crypto.
Okay.
And the government is not going to say, okay, we listen to RBI and ban it. So
Okay.
it stands there.
So it's just business as usual for now.
As usual, I'll not say. It is like, okay, it is there. Let's see how it evolves. What happens?
Is it also waiting and watching what the US does and what other?
It doesn't
states do?
matter. Each country is to decide for themselves.
Fair enough.
You can't watch what US is doing. Dubai took the lead and they came up with the regulations. So you had everybody with their laptop and braids shifting from here to Dubai. Singapore had a very clear cut things on there. You had people shifting to Singapore.
Yes.
This is what will happen. So India becoming a hub will be a treat.
Do you also see brain drain happening?
Yes, happened.
Oh, happened.
Like if you look at the exchanges, each of them have a branch either in Singapore or Hong Kong or Dubai, which is not very far off, and that will become a hub. Why do you think Dubai has come up with this? Because they want these intelligent brains to come here, operate, innovate, and then tomorrow come with the products which will be much more next level kind of a thing.